So you think about moving to Santa Maria, California. Well, today I'm going to walk you through some pros and cons about living in Santa Maria. Affordability. While living on the Central Coast is not cheap wherever you look, but Santa Maria is a little more affordable than some of the other towns here on the Central Coast. The reason why I say that is Santa Maria is actually in Santa Barbara County, and it is the southern part of the Central Coast. It's a bigger city, it's a bigger municipality, so it has a tendency to be a little bit more affordable. Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of big, expensive properties in Santa Maria, but if you're looking for a deal and you're looking hard, then Santa Maria is going to be more affordable than some of the other places that are on the Central Coast, like Pismo Beach and San Luis Obispo County in general. The upside of Santa Maria, it's the northernmost town in Santa Barbara County, and it is centrally located. So it's right along Highway 101 and 135, which is also called Broadway. They run parallel through Santa Maria. So navigating the town and using that central location works really, really well. So you can get to all the Central Coast attractions that you want to fairly quickly from town. So take the 101 and you go up north and go to the beach. You're already in wine country when you're in Santa Barbara County. There's plenty of agriculture, and we even have national forests out to the east. So next up is job opportunities. Santa Maria is it's a big town, big city. Or I guess a small city, big town would be a better description. So, but the city has a diverse economy with employment in agriculture, in healthcare, education, retail, and more. So it's a little bit more diverse than the towns that are up north in San Luis Obispo County, which is more geared toward the school, toward PG&E, and tourism, of course. Santa Maria is a family-friendly environment. It's often perceived as a good place to raise a family with the various schools and community programs. There's a very diverse group of people that live in Santa Maria, so you have the opportunity to meet people from walks of life. You can't talk about the pros of Santa Maria if you don't talk about barbecue. So the Santa Maria style barbecue is a very specific type of barbecue. I know people love their barbecue, and people always swear that their barbecue is the best. You go to Texas and they have those big old barrel barbecues. Well, in Santa Maria, we have pit barbecues, and they're awesome. That makes for great, great food. And the pit barbecue is one of those, it's kind of like those big barbecues that you see at a public park. Santa Maria barbecue, for sure. You go drive up and down Broadway or anywhere in Santa Maria on any given weekend, and you just have to use your nose, and you're going to find barbecue. We are really close, again, being in Santa Barbara County, to Vandenberg Space Force Base. So this Space Force Base, it used to be called Air Force Base, but then it was switched over a few years ago. And it makes sense because Vandenberg specific has a lot of rocket launches. So pay attention to the schedule for the rockets. They send a lot of the SpaceX rockets out of there and other military rockets coming out of Space Force Base. But the Space Force, it provides employment opportunities for the military as well as civilians. And it pumps a lot of money into the economy. There's a lot of growth down there. There are people, building homes, building properties. Moving on, we have a very diverse community. We have a rich cultural mix that contributes to the vibrant community feel. So when you go out on the weekends, you can go to education, like Ellen Hancock College is right there in Santa Maria. That's a junior college, but they have a lot of great programs. They have dance, music, they have theater there. So there's a lot of cultural things to do through the college and through other programs in Santa Maria. We do also see a lot of growth. Santa Barbara County and Santa Maria Pacific is growing at a faster rate than its friends or neighboring cities up in San Luis Obispo County. So Santa Barbara County, and specifically in Santa Maria, we have a tendency to have more big box stores. So Costco is an example, but we do have Costco in San Luis Obispo as well. But when you go down to Santa Maria, you'll see, a wider variety of big stores. Lowe's, Home Depot, There's a super Walmart down there. There's lots and lots of growth and lots of businesses. With those big businesses and those big box stores, we have a tendency to save some money when you go shopping. And it's also nice to have the option of shopping in Santa Maria or shopping in San Luis Obispo County. And let's see, Parks and Rec. The Parks and Rec is awesome in Santa Maria. There are a lot of public parks, and there are big parks too. So starting when you first get into town, Prescott Park is up the northern end, and then we have Waller Park down south, and parks throughout Santa Maria. So we have a lot of green space, lots of social opportunities, lots of opportunity to go play sports, soccer for the kids, and baseball, softball, and everything else in between. My last pro for this northern town in Santa Barbara County is the relatively mild climate. So Santa Maria is set a little bit more inland than some of the other coastal towns. So that means that it's often going to be a little warmer, less fog in Santa Maria than the towns that are closer to the coast. Santa Maria also gets some wind that comes through. So it blows the fog away and it brings in a nice warm breeze into Santa Maria. So those are the pros, and unfortunately, we do have to talk about some of the cons. The one thing that bothers me really the most about Santa Maria is the traffic and the slow stoplights. Some of the streets in Santa Maria, it takes a very long time to get across town. For example, Betaravia. If you get off Betaravia at Highway 101, you're trying to go over to Broadway, which is 135, it's going to take you a long time, even though it's a nice, big, wide street. But the stoplights are very long, and it just takes a long time to get through. So that's my big pet peeve and my main complaint about Santa Maria. But if that's the biggest complaint, it's actually a pretty good deal. It is a bit of a downfall as well that if you live here on the Central Coast, a lot of people like to take advantage of the beach, going to Pismo Beach, going, kayaking, Shell Beach, and surfing, and just enjoying all of the fun stuff that there is to do at the beach. Santa Maria, because it's a little bit inland and it's a little bit farther south, it does take a while to get to the beach there. Don't get me wrong, it's still not a bad drive. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and your feet are in the water and or in the sand. The climate in Santa Maria, I like it. It's a little bit warmer because it's inland. So Santa Maria is going to be 80 degrees when it's 65 or 70 at the coast. So that's just kind of a general rule of thumb. It's usually 5 or 10 degrees warmer in Santa Maria than it is right along our coastal communities on the Central Coast. And that's okay. It's the beautiful thing about living here and moving here is that you get to choose your climate. You can live in the heat, you can live in the cool, you can live right in the middle like Santa Maria. Some might find that the city's aesthetic is more industrial or utilitarian compared to the more quaint, scenic coastal towns, like Cambria or Cayucas, Harmony, Morro Bay, these cute little towns. Santa Maria is just not that. Santa Maria is nice. It's a cool town. It's just not a quaint, cute little place to go. However, it is close to all of those places. So a quick day trip to Morro Bay from Santa Maria is no big deal. Going up to see those elephant seals in San Simeon, still maybe an hour's drive to get up there. So you have lots of access. It's just not as close. And then speaking of kind of on the same topic is it has a limited small town charm to it. It's one of the larger cities, if not the largest city in the county of Santa Barbara. And Santa Barbara is a huge county. Santa Barbara is probably bigger, but it is one of the biggest towns in Santa Barbara County. So that small town charm is kind of lost, whereas some of the other Santa Barbara County towns like Buellton, for example, has that small town charm and that cute little quaint feel. You're just not going to get that in Santa Maria. You're going to have to go for a little bit of a drive to go enjoy that. Nightlife and entertainment options, really limited throughout the entire Central Coast. If you're here to party, dance, rave, you're going to either have to go live somewhere else or you're going to have to travel. You can go up to San Luis Obispo, during the school when Cal Poly's in session, and there's some more party scene and fun stuff. But realistically, if you want to get to the big clubs and everything, you're going to go to LA, you go to San Francisco. You just have to go somewhere else to get that. Another thing that you're going to miss when you're in Santa Maria is public transportation. It's really a California thing, and Santa Maria for sure. Like we have buses, we have a train that goes down to Santa Barbara, it goes down to San Diego, and we have a little airport that just flies to Las Vegas out of Santa Maria. But we don't have any subways, we don't have light rail, so just pretty limited in the public transportation. And then hand in hand with the limited public transportation is the air quality. So because we don't have the public transportation, we have more vehicles driving around. We also are very close to the agriculture in Santa Maria. So when those winds get going, in a warm summer day and the tractors come through and they're plowing the fields, it brings up a lot of dust and dirt and changes the air quality. So that's a downfall as well for Santa Maria. There's perceived higher crime rates relative to the other small towns as well. If you look at the police blotters and bloggers and watch the local news that covers both counties, San Luis Obispo and Santa Barbara, you're going to see that there is certainly a perception, and most likely there is more crime down in Santa Maria than there is in the other towns here on the Central Coast. So we talked about the air quality. Santa Maria it's less tourist focused infrastructure. So it's really like a regional hub. It's a place to live. It's not about tourism. It's about, amenities. There's good restaurants. There are stores, and it's just a good place to live. It's not a vacation place to go. School district variations in Santa Maria, there's a lot of variety in schools. So if you have kids and you're looking to move to Santa Maria or the Central Coast in general, schools are going to be really important. Do your due diligence, take your time, and make an educated decision on what school you want your kids to go to. And then the last one is road noise and an urban sprawl feel. Certain areas may experience more road noise and feel more sprawling than the compact, pedestrian-friendly communities. The roads are moving. When they are moving, they're moving faster. The roads are bigger. There's more lanes in the roads in Santa Maria than there are in some of the other towns. So that's Santa Maria, California, pros and cons. I'd love to have your comments. Please leave a comment. Let me know what other areas you want me to cover, and let me know what you think about this video.